Oh, hello. So we are very excited to have today's topic. Firm transformation starts with the owner becoming a better leader. And I think it's great that we have Jamie here today, who is the epitome of great leadership with his team and the things that he's navigated to get to this point, to have his ideal lifestyle at his fingertips is one to aspire to. So I'm excited to jump into that topic with you, Jamie. Let's dive on in. You've committed the time. Let's get into Jamie's brain and hear what he's got to share with us. So, Jamie, how do you free up your time while maintaining complete control of your firm?
Where do you want me to start?
I know. Take us back to the pain and then how you got through it.
Look, I think the answer is, Kristy, there's one or two things in terms of, leadership. Obviously, a lot of accountants and bookkeepers I speak to around the world, their biggest number one enemy is lack of time. And with lack of time, it's, to go to the extreme, it's like you can often be a workaholic. So there's more and more work all the time. And, I was once in that situation, of course. And then your life gets out of balance. And once your life starts getting out of balance, you just feel too much pain. And, the other side of the coin then is you're not achieving your aspirations. You're not achieving the things that, you essentially started out to do in the first place. So, I think I started my own firm because I thought I'd have more flexibility, more freedom, and, pretty soon ran and got the opposite.
Yeah.
So, sort of to go back to the start and to sort of try and empathize with everyone, why they're here today is, either one of those two reasons. You want more options, more choices, more freedom, which is a great aspiration to have, and a more balanced life. And, on the flip side, you're just, sick of just having lack of time, having appointments all day and then coming back to your inbox and, having 100 emails or 150 emails sitting in your inbox and then not dealing with them. So that sort of paints the picture, I guess, of either side of the coin in terms of why everyone might be here today. Of course, that was me 100% before I met Ed Chan, my mentor. And I think it all changed with me in terms of getting my time back with mentorship. That would be the biggest, number one piece of advice I would give to anyone, and including my own kids. So, it doesn't get any more sort of serious or meaningful than that. And essentially, it's just mentorship. So it's really about trying to avoid the roadblocks, trying to find a blueprint, trying to find a plan that actually works. And when I met Ed and, we formed Wize, that's just emulates that blueprint, that plan that, I've copied and many other firms have copied, that just works. It simply works. And, when I say works, the outcomes are that you get your time back. You learn to lead people. You learn to delegate. And so they're all the things that, essentially you have to learn on the journey. It's, I think really at its core, it's about who you need to become as a leader, in order to achieve the outcomes that you want. And you must do that within the spirit of win-win. Whenever you're working with people, it always has to be win-win. Habit 4 of Dr. Stephen Covey's book. I mean, look, in my career, for example, I was just a simple kid off a farm in central Victoria, Australia. But I think I've either started or overseen, 6 businesses now: accounting and tax and bookkeeping, financial planning, mortgage broking, recruitment, coaching, and now software. So the same principles that, we teach at Wize, you can apply them across different businesses, But the important point is it's always in the spirit of leadership and also in the spirit of teamwork. Like you are not an island. I've done what I've done because I've teamed up with people. People are the core of it. Then systems and processes, and then technology, the tools that you need, and then finally sort of the performance or the results or the outcomes. And they're sort of some of the key ingredients to achieve, hopefully why you're here today is to get your time back, and to be a better leader and to achieve your goals and help other people achieve theirs. That's how I'd probably sum it up.
I think too, Jamie, isn't it? It's knowing where to spend your time, and without direction, without a mentor, you're just kind of spinning your gears. You don't know where to put your focus, and you do only have so much time in a day. To know what blueprint to follow cuts out so much wasted energy that you can go straight into the action step that is going to have an impact in you creating freedom in your business. And, we talk to so many firm owners who say they don't get to switch off. They struggle to switch off. They either are still working weekends or late nights, or every time they get an email from a client, they're responding to it. They're constantly in that high energy of reacting instead of with intention, taking action, looking at those quad 2 activities of really building out the business and creating that teamwork so that they're not carrying the load themselves.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true, Kristy. Like, you really must focus on working on the business, and you must do that with a rhythm and a routine. What I've achieved and the person I am today is because of the rhythm and the routine that then become habits. And some of those absolutely core things, at a very practical level is, at its core is, I think, focusing on the vision. So what you're trying to achieve, and articulate that vision to your team, what it is you're trying to achieve. Secondly, surrounding yourself with the right people in terms of the finders and the minders and the grinders, and understanding how to build a team. You have to be a people builder. If you're going to get your business to even work a little bit without you, or some without you, or a lot without you, you have to be able to build people up. You have to be able to know what their career goal is. You must sit with your team members at some point in time and ask them what it is that their ultimate goal is for their career, right? And then you need, if you can, support, help them and support them to achieve that. I mean, I think I had 6 or 7 jobs before I started my own business, and not one boss sat with me and said, Jamie, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your career? Not one. And so don't do that.
No, and I think, Sky's a perfect example of having someone come in at, what could be considered an entry-level position and working away in your firm up to an executive level. And it's about creating opportunity to grow within your business, because so many people, as you say, are not asked that. So they leave a good workplace because they don't feel there's anywhere to go. But
That's
just
right.
as we want clients to choose how to work with us, where we give them a couple of options, we want our team members to choose how to grow in our business, how to find a new fulfillment. And that's the thing of not creating generalists, isn't it? Creating someone who's in their flow. What do they really enjoy doing? What are they great at?
That's
But
right.
looking at the extension with them by setting goals and growth targets.
Absolutely. Find the right people, put them in the right seat, like Jim Collins says in his book, Good to Great. Give them KPIs, give them mutual goals that you both agree on, and what success actually looks like. What does that success for you look like? Which just is the KPIs, and then coach them and help them to achieve those goals. It's in my mind and the different businesses and things that I run, it's all about the people first. I think we hear from a lot of software companies, it's all tech, it's all technology, and I've got to be more efficient. I've got to be this and I've got to be that. This has got to integrate with that. Yes, of course it does. But to be honest with you, it starts with the people. You get the people right, you find the right people, and you keep the right people. And there's no point hiring people hand over fist and then, letting them go. People don't leave firms. They leave their leader. They leave their manager. You get that foundation right, and then you overlay the technology and the tech stack and get them following the right processes and the right systems. And then finally, as I said, you have to be able to routinely show people the results of their efforts, because results are non-emotional. Results don't lie. Results don't have an opinion. And ultimately, results will affect human behavior. We see this in sport, across cultures, across races, across all different religions or whatever. Like sport and the definition of a successful winning team is globally recognized. And that's what we have to take to our business. And that's why once you get the foundations in your firm going, like you understand what capacity planning is. You understand 5 KPIs like the Fab 5. If you want to grow your firm, you've got to get the foundations right, just those basics right. And don't get too busy where you think, oh, that's not important, because it's not going to get towards whatever your goal is.
I think, we often talk about gamifying the business or having that scoreboard, and that's what the Fab 5 is for each and every firm owner. When you've got your scoreboard, there's no lying. Numbers don't have feelings and emotions. They just give you information that you can then make decisions about how your business is going and drill into the specific area.
When it's exactly right. When, like, everyone, again, I always use the sport as the analogy. When you go to the hockey game or the football game or the soccer game or whatever, let the scoreboard do the talking. Let the scoreboard do the talking. But you think about it, if you're the owner of your firm and you don't have a scoreboard, right, without trying to sound arrogant, like, it was like me, I was lost. It took Ed Chan, who I worked with. It took him to change the old grey matter up here, right? Because for the first 20 years, I was taught whatever I learnt from school, wherever, but I had to work, I had to work with Ed. I had to learn the Wize way, as we say, to understand, to change myself first, to change my thinking, to understand what's important. Going back to Kristy, your point earlier, you said it's understanding what is important. Well, you really fundamentally, you have to understand the difference between, quad 1 and quad 2. Quad 1 is urgent and important, and quad 2 is not urgent but important. Like, at a fundamental level, there's an ebook we wrote. What's it called, Kristy? The Accountant's 20-hour work week, or
I think so.
70-hour work week. Grab that book, and in quad 2, what is it? It's like training, educating and training your staff. How often do you do that? Like, I micro train people. If anyone's ever worked one-on-one with me, I micro train them, like to the finest detail at times. Don't micro train, don't micromanage. And then educate and train your clients. Train them how you work. And that's where all the tools in Wize, all the tools are there. You just have to understand the tools and live the tools. The no bypass policy, senior client manager, assistant client manager, bookkeeping. It's all there. It's just learning the knowledge. A great way to explain it, I think, everyone, is, if you go on a great journey and you're leading an expedition to the Antarctica, what do you need? You need a map, you need a plan, you need to understand the territory, you need to understand, like, what will kill you. This is in terms of that expedition. You need to know who you need to take, you need to know the equipment, you need to know when you're actually going to arrive there. Your business is really no different. It's just that it's not life and death. You know, if it doesn't work out, you know, you might not have balance in your life, and you might, whatever the negative outcomes of, you know, being a workaholic or not having time or not having a balanced life are, but your business is no different. So you've got to be able to follow that blueprint, follow that plan or map, know what tools to take, have the knowledge to do it, and then execute that plan. And really, that's the key to it. And there's different ways to put spin on it, I suppose, Kristy, in terms of the understanding of it. But the quad activities, you know, that Dr. Stephen Covey talks about, that's a very good way of looking at it. There's another document that's in the you know, in the Wize Vault, and that's about, you know, how to delegate. You know, so there's different ways, and a lot of the times Ed would say to me things like the fifth time, and the fifth time I'd get it. So Ed would apologise for repeating myself, but he would say it again, and then often sometimes the fifth or sixth or seventh time I'd finally understand and allow time for it. You know, for me personally, as an executive, say, my calendar, my calendar runs my day. You know, my assistant, I've got a PA at Sky Accountants, Jess now, and also Selena. Like, they help me run my life.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. And so, you know, you've got to honor the calendar, and, you know, follow that calendar, but because what's in your calendar will be your life. So if you've got an hour a day in there to work on your business, to work on your firm, stick to that 1 hour. Because if you stick to that 1 hour and implement all the things that we talk about in Wize, as I have done and other firms have done, then you will get the results. You'll get the results, and then your sort of circle of influence, if you like, will help other people in that process fulfill their career. And in that process, you'll delegate what you used to do. You know, like when I started, I used to do everything, like a lot of firm owners here. When you start out, you know, I started in the home office. I literally did everything. But then I delegated and I delegated and I delegated and I delegated. I learned from Ed these leadership sort of aspects that we're talking about. And then, you know, that's where you end up. You have setbacks and you overcome them. So you don't just say, like, it's all easy, you know, because it's not. That's just, you know, the only way, everyone, to grow, right, is to get outside your comfort zone. You need something to push up against so that you can grow as a leader, as a person, as a professional. Right? You need something to push up against. So, you know, whether it's however you can relate to that, if it's, you know, going to the gym and trying to get fitter, you know, you're pushing up against the weights. You know, if you're trying to be a better speaker, you know, you've got to practice that, and then, you know, have an audience of 5 and then have an audience of 100 or whatever. But you're not going to grow professionally unless you try something new that you've never done before, and just implement it, and then you'll grow professionally. You know, that's what they call being outside your comfort zone. You need to get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. You at
Is it
least need
easy?
to be stretching it, expanding it, because that's what creates more for you. And, you know, if we look at nature, all of the beautiful things have twists and turns and knots. They're not perfect and pristine. It's about continuing to face the fear and take the action, because you know that on the other side of it, we'll have the results for you. So